732 BC. Europe is engulfed in the Dark Waters. King Leopold IV leads his armies in a brutal campaign against his brother, Henry, Duke of Worcestershire, and taker of sheeps, all for control of many sheeps. In a meeting with his generals, Leopold confers,
Oi! If only old Daddy had a stronger pull-out game. We wouldn't be in this war, and the sheep wouldn't run the risk of being taken.
Merlin, great sage of Leopold, overhears this and states thus,
Gentlemen, I've heard your cries. I present to you protection. No more shall kingdoms fall to unwanted heirs. No more shall incestuous relations run the risk of spawning web-footed beasts. And no more shall our sheep be taken sexually. Henceforth, history will remember this as the dawn of the condom.
Oi! A condom? Alright, what's it made of?
And there you go, kids. That's genuinely the origin story of the first condom. No, it wasn't. Well, I'm sure this will come as a shock to many of you. Condoms were not made to stop future wars in Europe between men who wanted to have sex with all the kingdom's sheep. I lied. This is a lie. This history is fiction made by an ologist. Call me a history fictionologist. Now, why are we talking about these lovely group of pixies? It's because Evernight is a follower of the Enigmata.
Oblivion shall keep watch over your past. Veiled in the hush of the Evernight, silent and serene.
Now what's hilarious about this reveal is that if you are a smart little cookie, you actually saw this coming because it was foreshadowed to us right when the story started. If you remember, Evernight invited us to step into the reign of sensation.
It won't take too long. You just need to step into the reign of sensation with me.
Folks, the reign of sensation was made by Mythos, and this is also why Evernight has the umbrella. But before we dig into the Enigmata and Oblivion, I feel like we should first clear up who or what exactly is Evernight? A separate entity within March, or just March herself? And unironically, the answer is both. It's like if you got to meet your 7-year-old self right now. They've got a different set of memories than you, but they're still you. It just so happens March's past self resides within her memories when she's not out and about, and only comes out to play when March is in serious danger, because her obsession is making sure March 7th is safe no matter what.
Her only wish was for the Trailblaze's journey to continue, without an end. I'll definitely fulfill that small wish for her. You always hid in my memories. Never wanted to come out. The only times you showed yourself were when I got into serious trouble. The sole motivation behind everything you do was just so I can keep traveling. I am an obsession whose purpose it is to protect you. The only memories I have are yours.
So yeah, pillow fighting with March sounds fun, but if you swing once just a little too hard and see that umbrella come out, GG, nigga. But with that said, they are still both one and the same entity, and both refer to each other as me.
We meet again, naive me. I really didn't think that this other me would be this strong.
Now, worth clarifying, they still have separate memories from one another, as March tells us when she's awake, Evernight is asleep and can't experience her travels.
Its memories are all drawn from the camera's photos. In other words, from my journey of trailblazing. While I was awake, you were always sleeping. So talking about this probably doesn't feel real to you. So why don't I walk you through these memories all over again?
This is why part of appealing to Evernight's emotions was March quite literally showing Evernight all her journeys and travels. Now with that said, there are still some bizarre occurrences in which Evernight has some memories of March, like when she knew how many days March was on Amphoreus, or how March's eyes looked when she first put on the clothes she has now.
I still remember the day when you first put on these clothes and looked in the mirror. Your eyes were so clear.
As for Evernight's memories, those more than likely stem from who March was before her memories were wiped. Given, hey, she knows some shit, man. Yeah, she knows some shit.
As of now, I have no intention of making choices for you. You've already decided on your next destination. So, let me exercise Oblivion one last time and wipe the name pure child of Anāsrava, from your mind.
Pure child of Anāsrava, and in the image we see March 7th as well as Cyrene, meaning they're both pure children of Anāsrava, but what exactly does that mean? Well, let's turn to the databank. Quote, it's hard to determine which category in the databank the pure children of Anāsrava should be filed under, or even if this entry should be included at all. So far, these 4 words seem more like a baseless rumor scattered among the fragmentary chapters of cosmic history. Different historical records lead to pure children of Anāsrava with vastly different birthplaces, races, identities, and even life experiences. They also never knew each other. The only common thread between these women was that they all walked the path of remembrance. Literally interpreted, the pure children of Anāsrava must have countless intricate connections with Fuli, the master of Anāsrava. Could these women be some special form of remembrance emanators? The conjectures are endless. They could be fragments of the eons scattered across the cosmos after their shattering. Fuli's countless manifestations walking among mortals, different facets of their memories of themselves. Each theory seems self-consistent yet riddled with contradictions. Now there's only one consensus across the cosmos. One or several pure children of Anāsrava establish the Garden of Recollection, and these women collectively guard the secret of the remembrance. The idea that these women are all shattered pieces of Fuli is further backed by the fact that Evernight, who again, a pure child of Anāsrava, quite literally says as much in her trailer.
Are you willing to face me now? Face your past. When you were born from that shattered lumen flux. When you were buried along with the remembrance's lies.
Furthermore, it seems a sign of the pure children of Anāsrava is pink hair.
Remember this eternal truth. Girls with pink hair are never to be underestimated.
Which explains why March and Cyrene noted they looked so much alike.
Wait a minute. We actually look quite alike, don't we? Yeah. Your pink hair is just as eye-catching as mine.
Now, some of you might be taken aback by the claim that Fuli is shattered. Now, there is a lot of ambiguity in the databank with regards to this entry. The entry almost wasn't even included because the whole concept is shrouded in mystery, but I find it dubious at best to suggest that Fuli is dead, when just as recently as this patch cycles, Fuli has gazed at Amphoreus twice, once for shits and giggles, and the other to look at the Trailblazer. Hell, we know where Fuli is! Allegedly, he's posted up in the Anāsrava Pure Land, just spreading seeds out far and wide, and the Remembrance can't be a masterless path because that's illegal! Or is it? Quote, such is all that mortals know about the Eden of Blessed Insights. To this day, these accumulated materials remain unused while Fuli simply sits in meditation at the center of the Pure Land, silently recording everything. Scholars question, with the whereabouts of the Eon of Remembrance obscured by the Garden of Recollection, could the crystal god of the Eden of Blessed Insight be merely a false avatar? The Cremators spread even more terrifying information. Fuli has long since perished, their powers broken, while the Garden of Recollection had usurped divine authority to manipulate the Masterless Path. However, Masterless Paths do not exhibit tidal energy fluctuations, and fallen eons would no longer gaze upon any Pathstrider. The Remembrance and Fuli do not fit these criteria, yet they rarely manifest themselves, leaving only their crystal-like silhouette reflected across the cosmos. Perhaps as Adrian Spencer Smith once said, do not ask where a shadow dwells, you should seek the light that casts it beyond their throne. Kind of a 180 in this text. Despite the Cremators' claims and Evernights, it seems Fuli is not completely dead or shattered, given they are still gazing at people, and the evidence, just further doesn't suggest as much. Plus, with Fuli still living, there's the added benefit that it makes Evernight's wish of, wanting to kill the Path of Remembrance a bit less nonsensical, as, now there's someone she can go after.
My wish to kill the Path of Remembrance. March 7th will not find peace, as long as they and their fanatical henchmen exist.
Unless, to be fair, it is the Garden of Recollection manipulating the path, which would explain her hatred and the fact that she calls herself an enemy of the Garden. That's pretty good. Regardless, how did the pure children of Anāsrava come to be? Who knows, man? Databank gives a couple more theories, like the children of the memories of Fuli, or even the manifestations of Fuli, but given, Evernight herself referred to the shattering hypothesis, it really makes you think. Now, speaking of Evernight, her own power of oblivion stems from the Enigmata, which is essentially just, the path of bullshit, and quote, "It is a fallacy that all things can be experienced and recognized. The living seek to produce prophecies of the unknown based on their limited grasp of order, but little do they know that the universe has no end and that the truth is but a fevered dream. To prevent the certainty that erudition brought about from destroying the possibilities championed by Mythos, Mythos conjured the fog of thought and the rain of sensation to reveal to the mortals the inexplicable truth through the four agents: morph, screen, riddle, and mirage. Important to note about Mythos and the Enigmata is their birthplace, which is that of the Remembrance. As Herta tells us, quote, "Mythos, undoubtedly the most mysterious among all the eons, this one is as destructive to the simulated universe as the simulated Aha. In the rare handful of authenticated accounts, Mythos' form is described as a broken and torn jellyfish akin to a deliberately destroyed version of the cognitive center of the human brain. Their appearance is always accompanied by a fog of thoughts and rain of sensation. Symbolic objects dissolve like paint within their shadow. History, knowledge, and language are soaked, drenched, and distorted into the deluge. Mythos wants to challenge the certainty of the erudition regardless of the consequences. Is it truly worth it to erase the past and distort the present, all for the pursuit of an uncertain future? Perhaps I can only hope to uncover more information about Mythos by digging into the Remembrance, the birthplace of the Enigmata. Alternatively, I can try Finality. Now, what's strange is the Enigmata only has two known paths, or, groups within that path. The Riddlers, and, everyone's favorites, the history fictionologists, yet Evernight doesn't seem to belong to either of them. The Riddlers just fuck with language, whilst the fictionologists just fuck with history. But if we look at Evernight's actions within the story, which was to pick and choose which memories should be kept by the Trailblazer when creating the new world through Era Nova, not only do they not resemble an action from either of these two groups, they actually perfectly fit the modus operandi of the Cremators, a group serving the Remembrance who do this exact action on a larger scale. Now, one doesn't have to be a member of a group to warrant the Eon's gaze, but what's odd is Oblivion, the power of Evernight that Don Hung likens to that of an emanator.
That power called Oblivion. It's just like an emanator's.
And despite Evernight stating it's that of the Enigmatas, I could find no reference to any such Oblivion power anywhere, yet with this power she's able to erase memories of people, or at the very least fog people's thoughts, which does fit with the powers related to Mythos. Fog people's thoughts. I heard it literally says that quite earlier. But I'm afraid that's all we know about Evernight, who's since gone back to sleep within March, so her connections to March's past, how much she truly knows, where she came from, where March came from, Blue's Clues.